circulation of blood. What does the circulatory system do? The main function of the circulatory system is to carry blood to and from different places of the body, that is from the systemic parts of the body, the lower parts of the body. And the main structures of the circulatory system, it's divided into three: the heart, blood and blood vessels. And you can see the inside of the diagram, the right side of the heart and the left side of the heart is divided by septum. And we have four chambers in the heart: right atrium, right ventricle, left atrium and left ventricle. And the impure blood is carried to the right atrium through the superior and inferior vena cava. And the blood pumps from right atrium to right ventricle through the tricuspid wall. And from the right ventricle, the blood is pumped through the pulmonary artery to the lungs. Through the lungs, in the lungs, exchange of transfusion, that is deoxygenated blood will be transferred into oxygenator, and which will be carried through the fourth pulmonary vein and supplied to the left atrium. And from the left atrium, the blood pumped to the left ventricle via the mitral valve, and from the left ventricle, the aorta arises, it's supplied to all parts of the body. And the heart, we can see this vein, it brings blood from the body except the lungs, and we have two atria, two ventricles and four chambers. And two atria, two ventricles and four chambers. So what is the main function of blood? So it helps in digest food, and it carries white blood cells, it excretes the waste products like urea, and it has platelets, it has hormones, plasma, carbon dioxide, oxygen and red blood cells. And the blood consists of RBC, WBC, platelets and plasma. And the composition of blood, it has plasma, 55% of blood volume contains plasma, and 45%, that is 45% of blood volume contains, that is cells. And here we can see the blood vessels, in that white blood cells, RBC, the lifespan of RBC is 120 days. And the plasma, so the plasma is 90% of water, so it looks like yellow colored liquid that carries the cells and the platelets. And the blood solids, red blood cells 43%, and white blood cells 2%, that it composed of platelets also. Red blood cells, it looks like a disc, or you can see it's look like a ring that is round and flat without a nucleus. So red blood cells doesn't have a nucleus, and it holds oxygen and carry it to cells that need it, and it can change the shape to an amazing extent. So like it may squeeze like a strangle or fight through capillaries. And white blood cells, the main function is to eat and digest microorganisms, and it fight against the diseases because it has its own antibodies to destroy the invaders, and it also acts as an antitoxins. And the platelets are bits of cells broken of larger cells, and the platelets produce enzymes. This helps in the blood cells to form a blood clot. So where is blood made? So the blood cells are made in the bone marrow. That is, here we can see the bone marrow consists of spongy bone, yellow marrow and compact. The blood from the heart gets around the body through blood vessels. There are three types of blood vessels. We have artery, vein and capillary. The artery, there is a greater difference between the artery and vein, and the artery carries blood always away from the heart, and the vein carries blood towards the heart, and the arteries usually contain oxygenated blood, and the vein contain deoxygenated blood. And arteries carry oxygen and nutrients, it helps to digest food, and always the arteries are under pressure created from the heart. And the vein carry blood towards the heart, and the vein contain more deoxygenated blood because it is filled with the carbon dioxide. And vein has its own walls because which act to stop the blood from going in wrong direction. And more veins, why the vein is appear blue? Actually the vein looks, the actual color of the vein is dark red because they appear blue because of the light refraction through the skin. And the capillaries link arteries to veins. So main function, there is exchange material from the blood to cells happening here, that oxygen is dropped off and the carbon dioxide is dropped. And the more capillaries, the wall of the capillaries only one cell thick, and mainly the capillaries is very tiny cells. Here there will be excess release of heat through the capillaries, so that's what we face gets red when we do severe exercise. Our face will become red. And coming to the summary, the three main parts of the circulatory system, the heart, blood and blood vessels. The job of the circulatory system is to move blood throughout your body, and the blood transport oxygen, waste and nutrients throughout the body. And write a poem that is pretend you are the circulatory system and you are in love with the respiratory system. Write a short love poem to convince the respiratory system why you two are such a good match and why you cannot function without them. Thank you.